Hello and welcome to Cannabis Not the Answer. My name is Kias, and today I want to make a video about something that I've been pretty present in my experience, and also what I see in the world, but also especially what I've experienced a lot with people who want to have CBD oil from me. And that is the typical perspective on some sort of challenge in one's life, and probably through society we've been taught that we don't just want to cut that out. This holds no information, there's nothing in it for me, I just need to get rid of it again. So this is something that happens against me instead of something that happens for me. And I have oftentimes experienced people who are like calling me and asking me for an oil against stress, or an oil against depression, or an oil against anxiety, or an oil against any of these things. And I can definitely, or most likely, help people with an oil that will reduce some of these symptoms. But the symptom is not the problem. The symptom, it is just some sort of pain that is coming in and is showing people where they hold on to something that is not serving them or is draining them. And if they have resistance towards that pain, that is when they will suffer. So now they're coming to me and want me to take their suffering and their pain away. And I have lost quite a few sales by sharing my perspective of what is going on. A lot of people then say, I'll call you back, and then they call another CBD oil vendor, and he will then most likely sell them an oil and assure them that this will take away your problems, this will make you happy again. And I see a lot of people now who are either in some sort of depression, or they are abusing either foods, psychoactive drugs, entertainment, other people. And there are a lot of ways that we can do these kind of things that entertain us, or that makes our boredom go away. But what is boredom? Why are we bored? Because when we are really happy, we can just sit and look into a tree and we'll just be fine, and we can just... When are we bored? The Danish word for boredom is kedsomhed, or when we are bored, we say jeg keder mig in Danish, and ked means sadness. So when we are bored, some sadness is coming up. There's something deep down that bugs us, something that needs to be addressed. And when that comes up, we are looking out, we want some sort of entertainment, we are striving for something out here. And as I see it, the chase for the physical is the runaway from the emotional, or the striving for the outer is the escape from the inner. So when you are basically running away from your emotions instead of addressing them, because feelings are there to be felt, then at one time, this kind of builds up, and life will knock harder and harder and harder until you open up. Truly open up, and letting go of all the definitions that you deep down know are not true. Something like you are insufficient, that you are not good enough, and all these kind of things. These are like trained patterns throughout our lifetime that we, when it all comes down to it, have taken on to serve us, because all the challenges we have now are previous solutions. And the thing is, we live in very apocalyptic times, and people usually associate the word apocalypse with a very negative thing. But apocalypse is a very positive thing, because an apocalypse is just that the veil is going off. It is just unveiling what is really there. So you have a lot of darkness you don't want to face. An apocalypse can be really challenging. But ultimately, it is there to set you free. So you can keep on, creating all these kind of comfort zones. But this is what it is. When we are creating a comfort zone, it is when a junkie doesn't want to face his shit or his issues. What he does when he takes some heroin is that he creates a comfort zone to avoid going into these emotions, and emotions are there to be felt. So, and even though ultimately it will totally set him free to go through these things, it is with the most of the things in our lives that we are basically avoiding that are part of the truth, because the truth will set us free. So we are basically putting ourselves in captivity because we don't want to feel or address these emotions. And a good example of that is iboga, or ibogaine, as you call it. It is a psychedelic root that is mainly found in Africa, but it's also used other places in the world. And with iboga, it is, it is used for a lot of things, but it is used especially for heroin addicts to go through their shit. And this is a trip that will last a long time. It will take you through all, there's no hiding place, people report, when they go through this psychedelic trip. But the thing is, people who are going through this kind of journey, I think it is 93% of junkies never return to the heroin again. And why not? Because they're in that trip, they're facing everything they're running from. And they realize that everything they've been running from is themselves. So all of these comfort zones we're building up, we are basically running away from ourselves. And I know that people say, oh, this is heroin, but you can be as addicted to, like lollipops as some people are to heroin. It doesn't matter. So all these kind of, addictions, and an addiction is nothing else than that you are trying to basically seek your completion, trying to find love, trying to, feel whole through dragging something in from the outer world. So when you're smoking that cigarette, like, oh, you're feeling like, oh, now you feel whole. So you're giving yourself that excuse that you need this in order to be whole. So it is not your body that basically wants these kind of addictions. Okay, you can say something like, let's say, a lip moisturizer. You can say that is physical addictive because you are like something that's called the law of efficiency, that you are training your body that this is coming from the outside, so the body itself will stop producing it. But we're talking about this kind of psychological addiction. That is never the body that wants that. It is always your mind, because it's your mind that kind of seeks this kind of comfort, that doesn't want to address what really is going on. And there are of course various levels of finding out what all of this is, and of course there are some levels that people won't be able to grasp. So we are all at a different stage. So it's also often be very difficult to like teach other people, and I've done that quite a bit myself. Like, hey, can't you see? But a lot of people are not ready, or they are maybe already past what you are going through right now. And that is why it's also said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, or the master. But it is very easy to walk around and telling other people what they need to see. And it's oftentimes, or at least I can see it in my life, the more I had the need to show other people, like, can't you see, this is what you need to do, this was oftentimes a way for me to avoid my own journey, you can say. And we are living in times now where it becomes more and more challenging, because the truth is coming more and more and more and more and more into our face, And this is also why we need more and more and more stimulants. And it's a bit like, you can say, bacteria getting resistant, because the truth will always prevail. You cannot keep it. In the end, it will come back. Also, nature will also take everything back. So the truth will eventually prevail. And it's up to you how long time you want to struggle around with what you deep down know needs to be done. Needs to be, leave your partner, move away from where you're at, tell your parents a certain thing. And it doesn't need to be a negative thing. It can maybe just deep down be the feeling of telling someone in your life that you love them. And you even know that they love you too. But you just know that it's never been communicated, so it's never been made physical. This can be a challenge. It can be a lot of these things. As Jesus said in the Thomas Gospel, what's within you, if you bring forth what's within you will save you. But if you do not bring forth what's within you will destroy you. So the truth, whatever, if you're holding on to untruth, man, that hand that holds on to untruth will eventually get destroyed. So we're living now in times where this is getting more and more obvious, and wherever you're holding on to something will be more and more magnified. And you can of course use things like various drugs or entertainment or whatever to suppress that message, but you will never find true, let's say, freedom, happiness, love. I mean, the true authentic love will not show up until you are really, really authentic. And your challenges, they'll wait for you. But I mean, if you're at a stage where you are not willing or not able to face these things, and you just want the pain to go away, and I mean, I'm not here to judge you at all. I mean, I have been through a lot of similar things, and I've had periods where I also just stimulated myself in various ways to not confront myself with certain areas, challenges of my life. But if you have a certain challenge, also a pain in your life, that is just telling you something, where you are holding something back, you are resisting something, or some of these things, truly letting go, these things will teach you how to love and how to be loved, in a sense, because you cannot get love from anyone else, and you cannot give love to anyone else. You can just be loving, and you cannot be loving when you're not truly allowing what you are and what this moment holds. So don't hold on to what this moment holds. You really need to just let it flow and allow yourself to be who you truly are. And it can be a really, really deep thing within us that we're trained from we are very, very small. Our parents, when we were crying, they were trying to cheer us up, and we are learning, okay, this crying thing, this being not satisfied, these kind of things are not really something that make my parents happy, and I want to make my parents happy. So we learn to put that aside, and as boys, boys don't cry, and girls don't often tell their opinion, and what throughout history has all been taught to children. And these kind of things can, from a very early age, teach us how to behave. So we are creating these templates, these patterns we live by. But these very patterns, these very templates can hold us from really experiencing freedom, love, and thereby health. Because health is a reflection of how whole we are. The Danish word for health is helbred, and the first three letters, hel, means to be whole. You also say healing, because something is healing. It's healing, yeah. It's getting whole again, and this is what health is a reflection of. So if you want to experience true love, take care of your health. And if you want to experience good health, take care of your love. And you do that by allowing who and what you truly are. So I'll definitely, if you contact me, help you with CBD oil, if you want to use that to, let's say, suppress or to, you know, still down some of these messengers. But I'll, if you call me, most likely also tell you that I encourage you to enhance and to really listen what your body is telling you. Video's over. Bye.